We are now broadcasting. We should have. Yes, and all of our participants are coming in. This is amazing. So we apologise for the delay in getting started today. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a few technical difficulties. Being that, many apologies. You can see my wonderful headshot, but not my face, but you can definitely hear my voice today. And it's not so much about me, it is my amazing guest that you can see in all his rainbow finery. Thank you so much for that. I am joined by the absolutely amazing and wonderful Michael Gunning.
Hey guys, you're right. Thank you for having me on this week.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for being a participant. So without further ado, I guess we will get started. Welcome to Coffee Breaks with My G Work. We are the online business community for LGBT professionals, students, graduates, and organisations who truly believe in workplace equality. We hope to empower the LGBT community by offering individual users a safe space where they can connect with like-minded professionals, inclusive employers, find mentors, jobs, professional events, and news. Like I said, it's with Michael today, and our topic is the road to the Olympics. So Michael, without further ado, please tell everyone who is watching who you are. Who is Michael?
Yeah, so I am an international swimmer. I've been swimming all my life, just to kind of get to the Olympics, really, to achieve my dream. I used to represent Team GB, so I represented I went to many different competitions under Team GB. I used to do open water and pool swimming. And it wasn't until 2016 that, my dad is Jamaican and my mum's British. So I've been very lucky that I've always been able to choose who I can represent and who I want to fly that flag for. And in 2016, after the Olympic trials, I decided to, change alliances to my dad's heritage and start representing Jamaica, which just to reach out to so many more people. Obviously, being a black swimmer, there's not many black swimmers out there. Yeah. And, so many people have been asking me to swim for Jamaica and represent, the Caribbean. So that was when I decided to change over. And I swam in the 2017 World Championships and the 2019 World Championships. And since then, I've been kind of sharing my story of, how I came out and my journey. I came out on the BioLife, which was an amazing experience. So some people might know me from there. But yeah, I'm just an athlete trying to achieve my goal and, while being my authentic self.
Absolutely. And so what made you decide to get into swimming? How did that start?
Yeah, so my parents can't actually swim, so they pushed me into swimming lessons. I didn't actually like it at first, but yeah, like obviously whenever we went on holiday, I was always quite scared of the water. So from the age of 4 or 5, I went into swimming lessons, and then it kind of went on from there. Really, I went to a swimming club and then made my way all the way through the stages. So I never thought I'd ever get to this level that I'm at now. So I'm very, very privileged.
Absolutely. And so, we can't ignore that we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and this has had an impact on, your drive to the Olympics. What made you let's talk around the Olympics and that journey, and then 2, follow up with, because we know that journey hasn't stopped, it's just adapted. We were laughing in the pre-call of, your first time getting back in the pool. So let's share with everyone your Olympic journey, why, and then obviously what you're doing now.
Yeah, no, obviously I've been training so hard for the past 4 years since Rio. Like I really obviously wanted to achieve that Olympic dream because I just missed out in 2016. So for me, Olympics has always been on the cards, and kind of this Olympic year, which, was an Olympic year, I went to Australia, I went to South Africa, all for, big training camps with like the Team GB team. Because I'm very lucky, they accept me into the group, and I'm pretty much a part of, British swimming, which is amazing. And different camps, different competitions, and it was just looking so good. So obviously when all this pandemic came around and we went into lockdown, I did lose my head a little bit for the first 2 to 3 weeks because I didn't know what to do. There wasn't really a reason to get up, especially, with the Olympics being pushed back for another year. Yeah. But now I'm fully in a routine. I'm doing Zoom sessions with my group every day. Like I'm doing 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. Like I'm used to being in the pool 25 hours a week. So it's very different. And, you know, anyone that knows me, I do not really like land work. I'd much prefer being in the pool. So it's an unknown for everyone. But I think the only thing that's been getting me through is knowing that the whole world is in the same boat, you know. You know, we're all in it together, and we've all just got to adapt and change, you know, all of our lifestyles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you said, you were originally with Team GB, you're now, you know, with the Jamaican team, but it's been a hard journey to qualify for the Olympics. You know, what has that been like? Because I don't think people actually appreciate it's not just swimming.
I know. I do travel a lot for different competitions, and you know, I travel around the world. And FINA, you know, the governing body of swimming, put down different meets that you've got to achieve the qualifying times for. So, you know, I made that time in the 200 butterfly, and I was hoping, you know, it was 2 weeks away from the trials when we went into lockdown, which I was really excited to obviously, you know, performing in the Olympic trials to see what other events I could qualify for.
Yeah.
But I've got that 200 butterfly time under my belt. But yeah, I'm just obviously, I need to keep going. I need to stay up, you know, the same level as the rest of the world, because when we come to, hopefully, if I definitely am selected next year, officially again by the team, I'll be able to stand up against everyone else and have confidence in, you know, what I've done.
Absolutely. And so, you know, as you mentioned, you're not just a swimmer, you, Michael, you know, an openly gay man and an openly gay man in sports. You know, please share, you know, what your coming out experience was like for you. And then I guess around knowing that we don't have a lot of visible LGBT role models in sport.
Yeah, I think,
yeah.
Yeah, I just, you know, from that perspective, I've been so lucky with my coming out and with me telling people, because so many people have been supportive of me, which has been amazing. You know, I told my family when I was 18 that, you know, I was attracted to men. And I think for me, because I never explored that, you know, I'd never went on a date before then. I'd never really got myself out there. I didn't want to identify as gay then, because, you know, I hadn't been out, I hadn't explored. So, you know, I told my family from early on, and I've always managed, you know, to be myself. No one's ever, you know, judged me, or like, yeah, I had a bit of bullying when I was younger, but it was not really about, you know, since coming out. It was more just, I was very different when I was growing up. But I think, you know, yeah, in 2018, I went on, you know, the BioLife show with Courtney Act, and, you know, it was so nice to be in a villa with like-minded people that it was okay to have that conversation. It was okay to question. It was okay to, you know, just explore and get yourself out there. And yeah, from that, I've had so many amazing comments. And, you know, like you said, there isn't many out athletes, you know, especially at the Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games. So for me, I do feel, you know, very lucky that I've been able to share my coming out story with, you know, the world, and I've had the support from everyone.
Absolutely. And, you know, we know when you are visible in so many senses, used so much more on the world stage, how important it is to have role models. Did you see many role models from a professional capacity, and maybe widening it out to, you know, not just swimming, but did you see many visible LGBT role models that you could have an affinity with when you were growing up? And if so, you know, who's one that really kind of meant something and helped empower you?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't really. I was quite naive to, you know, the LGBT community. So growing up, I never really had any role models, you know, that were LGBT, and it's really sad. And I think that's one of the real reasons why now I'm pushing it so much, because, you know, I want people to look at me. I want people to want to be like me and kind of resonate with my story. You know, when I moved to the London Performance Programme, you know, in my preparations, I came across Tom Daly, and obviously his help and support of me kind of grasping the sexuality was amazing, and he kind of opened up the door to that LGBT community. And yeah, like, so he's always been a massive role model to me. But yeah, like, other than that, I haven't really, you know, I never really had anyone to look up to.
Yeah. And I guess it's why it's so much more important for, you know, us to continue to be visible, but more so for you in sport. Do you, in thinking about role models, you know, and also, as you mentioned, some of the negative experiences that you have had in the past, you know, navigating through a world where people may have a lot of comments or thoughts about you, and especially being so visible. And I know that, you know, we'll kind of touch on the BioLife, that also meant a lot more people felt that they could engage with you. I think maybe, you know, nothing too personal if you don't need to, but any negative experiences that you've had from that and how you've overcome them.
Yeah, I think, you know, everyone's always got an opinion. Anyone that knows me as well, I am very opinionated and I want to share that opinion with everyone. You know, I do welcome any comments that people, you know, question and ask me. And I think I've just been totally honest. You know, I've really managed to sit down with them, you know, with their questions of, you know, why I came out the way I did. Yeah, and just have that conversation, honestly, you know, because I haven't really had many negative comments from people, but I think lots of people question, you know, why I came out when I did, why I didn't wait, and yeah, just why I came out on a TV show. So I think it's just really nice to sit down with them and actually talk through them and, you know, talk through what it meant for me.
Absolutely. And, you know, not just in swimming, but we see in sport in general, there really aren't, you know, that many openly out athletes, sportsmen, football players. And so, you know, I guess, what would be some of the barriers from a sport capacity that you think may stop LGBT people from being really open?
I think, you know, there is that stereotype of athletes and, you know, totally, you know, obviously loads of football players, you know, there is no openly, you know, out football player in the Premier League. And I think, you know, facts like that is just so shocking. And, you know, you think there must be, you know, some people out there that aren't, you know, coming out. But I think, you know, the biggest thing is this, you know, the aura that you put around yourself. You know, when I was younger, I used to pretend that I was a macho man, that I was ready to, you know, compete against my competitors. I wanted to make them scared of me. And I think, you know, that is the stereotype and the perception that people have with athletes. You know, you don't want to show any weakness. And to be honest, like, I did worry that, you know, me coming out would show weakness, would make people think that, you know, I'm not as strong, I'm not as tough, you know, as I am. But, you know, anyone that's kind of seen me swim, like, I'm a very gutsy boy and I go out fast. And I think since coming out, you know, I've realised that I don't have to be macho. I don't have to, you know, be slapping myself super hard on the block and scaring people, intimidating people. Because how I intimidate people now is I just be myself. I'm confident, I'm happy, I'm smiling. Because most people are like, well, why is he smiling? He's about to do like the biggest race of his life. But I enjoy it. And you know, by me talking and being open about everything, you know, just shows people that I can still do, you know, the job in the pool. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's also that thing, you know, people don't really understand that that comes inherently from when you are an athlete. That competitiveness goes through every single part of your body. And so, you know, that makes no difference whether you are LGBT or you're heteronormative. That's that same confidence. I think that's what I guess that you're talking about and tapping into, and not allowing, you know, what you may feel yourself as a barrier of being LGBT is actually fully embracing your whole self and tapping really into that competitiveness, which people might, you know, see as a difference. Yeah, so, you know, as we move forward and we see more people being open and we see more conversation, I think ever more so in the last 12 months around being LGBT in sport, how do you think sport in general can be more inclusive? You know, with Ryan, an openly out referee, and we've got, you know, a few more athletes that have come forward, but what more does sport need to do? And I know that you're in a few initiatives that are trying to change that.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, one of the things I always say is just to start a conversation. You know, give people role models, give people, you know, people that they can look up to, can want to be like. And, you know, by starting a conversation, we'll, you know, show people that, oh, it's okay to talk like that. It's okay to feel these feelings. Because growing up, you know, I always questioned any feelings that I had inside. I suppressed heavily because, you know, I was so scared that that wasn't what I should be feeling. So yeah, starting a conversation, talking, having different groups where people can be open and honest, whether it's in a club, whether it's outside of a club. I just think, and that's not a nightclub, by the way, like a sports club.
I know you meant swim club.
Yeah, a swim club. Just just having that space where they can talk openly and honestly. I think that's so important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, we hope that continuing to have those conversations, we'll be able to drive and see more sports people, openly out sports people, you know, in everything, because we're already there. We know that, don't we?
No,
so let's kind of go back to the BioLife, which is actually where we really first got to know each other, and in some of the background consultation for the show, and, you know, that kind of, I loved having those weekly texts of, oh my God, why didn't you tell me this was coming? It was amazing. But, you know, for many people, that's also where they met you. And I know that you've mentioned before, you know, what an amazing experience it was. But I guess maybe give us an insight into that time in the villa with you. We kind of just saw short bits, but I know that, you know, you've all become such amazing friends and really done some amazing work in having an open conversation about bisexuality and that journey.
Yeah, no, so, you know, as a swimmer, I don't really get much time out of the water, but I was kind of going through a time where I really needed to take a break and just focus on myself and how I was feeling, because, you know, I'd suppressed my feelings, and, you know, obviously being in a relationship for so long that I just felt like my performance was really struggling with it. And I kind of saw that, you know, Commonwealth Games year, and I needed some time for myself. So, you know, when Courtney asked me to kind of come on the show, you know, like that, at first I was like, no way, I've never been on a date, I don't want to do it on TV. But, you know, we've seen all the facts of how many people were out at the Commonwealth Games, how many people were out at the Olympics, and how many people actually define themselves, you know, as gay, bisexual, lesbian, transgender. It's really shocking. So I thought, you know, if I could be that sports person role model for, you know, 5, for 10, for 100 people, then amazing. So I went on the show and I was totally myself, which was amazing. And, you know, I met 5 other people that were genuinely amazing people, and, you know, they were so willing to share their story, you know, the same as me. And, you know, there's lots of stereotypes of bisexuality, and, you know, we discussed all of that on the show. And I think, you know, we was just in the villa, like, questioning everything, really, questioning who we fancied, who we wanted, whether we was bi, whether we was, you know, what sexuality we want. And it was so, you know, empowering to come out as gay on the show, like, obviously with it being called the BioLife, but to be so willingly accepted by the group as well. And it was amazing. We partied, we went on dates, and I've honestly done things on that show that I've never done since or before. But I think, you know, it was an amazing experience, and everyone should, you know, be able to have a time in their life where they can be open, where they can, just be totally comfortable in themselves. And since then, I've seen massive, like, improvements with my performance, with how I talk to people. I still haven't really got myself out there as much. I think I'm just, you know, filling all myself in with swimming at the minute until the Olympics is over, and then hopefully I can get myself out there a bit more. But my confidence has, you know, risen so much, and it just gave me so much.
Amazing. We're about 4 minutes away from the Q&A, but we have just had a question in that said, will we see you on TV again?
Who knows? Who knows? I would love to. That experience has made me realise that I did love, you know, just showcasing myself. So who knows?
Awesome. I would love to see you on TV again. So we'll dive into the last couple of questions. What has been the highlight of your career so far, Michael? Not an easy one.
Yeah, going to my very first World Championships in Budapest was an amazing experience. I swam well, and it just made me realise, you know, what it's like when all your hard work pays off. So hopefully I'll get that again next year at Olympics.
And so, you know, Olympics, any plans for after competition? What is the focus? Solely Tokyo?
It's Tokyo. You know, I've got lots of different things that I want to achieve after. You know, within the LGBT community, obviously I want to help as many charities. I want to, you know, just allow people to come out and totally be themselves. So wherever I can do that with inclusion and diversity, I would love to do that after swimming. But I have a passion for, you know, children, and I used to want to be a school teacher.
Yeah.
So I'd love to be like a children's presenter or something that's still kind of down the entertainment industry, but who knows?
And I mean, we will mention at the end, but everyone will see you during our Work Pride conference. You will be doing an inspirational keynote. So again, those things outside of just the sport. What can we, well, actually, I'm going to save that one to last. What I'm actually going to do is dive into some of the questions, because I can see that quite a few are coming through now. So someone has asked, what was the process like to qualify for the Olympics, and will you have to re-qualify now it's been postponed?
Hey, good question. I will have to re-qualify. Although I got the qualifying times, the date was still open that anyone could still qualify after me, or if they bettered my time, then obviously I wouldn't be in the team anymore. So I think we're just going to have to wait and see. Like, it's between like April next year around is when the trials is. So I will have to re-qualify, but yeah, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I'm on that team. So hopefully I'm doing everything I need to.
Well, we have got our fingers crossed for you. Next one, I would like to know, in which LGBT visible initiatives are you involved? Now, I know earlier today you did Pride for All.
Yes, yeah, with Pink News, which was good. I think obviously, with LGBT at the minute and with what's going on with the rest of the world with equality, I think it's important for me to be able to share, my story, but, as an LGBT athlete, as well as obviously me being black skinned. So I've been trying to, it's not all LGBT communities. Next week, I've got an Olympic live session with the Olympic channel where I'm doing a workout. And yeah, like lots of exciting things. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say. But,
oh, it's okay, Michael. It's just between us.
But yeah, just a few things like, in the pipeline, different workouts, different question and answers, different podcasts and stuff. So yeah, just to give back, really.
Amazing. Next question. Is there a lot of support for LGBT swimmers?
No, is the blunt answer. With being in the UK, there isn't really many initiatives that, I've been given as a swimmer. I've been very lucky, like being with, British women and the British team. I do feel very much a part of that team, although I do represent Team Jamaica now. But I think just out there in general, obviously there's, Jamaica has a lot of opinions anyway, and it's not as, willy-nilly to, be LGBT under Jamaica. But I think, with me living in the UK, me being based here, there could be so much more that is done, whether it's just education, whether it's having groups, with like-minded people that can help you with psychology that, isn't necessarily offered. So I think that's one of my pushes as well, to help within, the British community as well.
Okay, and we have one more. Is there an LGBT network or something to connect and support each other as athletes?
So there is the gay, like the Gay Olympics, I think, which I have been invited to. I think
the Gay Games. Gay Games.
Yes, yeah, which is amazing. There is an amazing, like there's a swimming club as well called Out for Swim, which I'm really familiar with, which is an amazing swimming club. And to be fair, they've been my community, really. They've been the people that I can talk to. And, I went to their competition, which they held, or the whole GLAM every year. So it's like a worldwide competition, which is amazing. But I think as, with a professional swimming point of view, there's not really anything. But, there's definitely many things out there that I can kind of reach into.
Well, hopefully, if anyone is within that field and needs some advice on how to start one, specifically from an ERG perspective, but also maybe, Michael, if you can gather together a few more athletes and create your own alongside the Gay Games, they're an amazing initiative. We've got questions flying in now. What's your opinion about the IOC's restrictions with regards to trans women competing in the Olympic Games? Quite I guess, a question that has a lot of focus, even more so now than ever.
Yeah, I think it's so hard. When you look at the world records in swimming, there is a significant difference to, male times to female times. So I can understand the restriction, because then, they want it to be an equal playing field. And obviously with that, it could open a new venture really of the unknown of how the results are going to change, what times people are going to go, and how many world records are going to go via that route. So I think I can totally understand why they're reluctant. But I think, more has to be done to really look into it, with different competitions around the world, what gender people can enter under, and I just think more research does need to be done, by the IOC about that at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also being open to many different communities and understanding, like anything, how that affects many different communities, and maybe the restrictions need to be adjusted to take into account all the different people and identities of people that will be taking part. Is there anything fans can do to make LGBT athletes feel more supported and let them know they will be supported if they come out?
Oh, that's a really good one. I haven't really thought about it. I think from my social media, from all like my platforms that I have, I've had so much support, and it does mean so much to me, having comments, about being LGBT, about me sharing my story. So I think what everyone's doing, reaching out to athletes, personally and telling them, which is amazing. But I think, yeah, that's a good one. I'll have to think about that and come back to it.
Well, that will definitely, maybe you could add that into your inspirational keynote, or we'll revisit that question in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
As we are kind of running out of time, I guess my next question, or my last question I should say to you, is where can we see you next, Michael, apart from the Work Pride conference?
Yeah, who knows? I'm really excited to just reach out and, kind of just touch as many lives as I possibly can. And obviously being in swimming, I'm doing that by traveling the world. But yeah, I will definitely keep you posted on my next journey, my journey to Tokyo. So keep your eyes peeled even.
Absolutely, we really look forward to seeing that. Michael, this has been an absolute pleasure. When we first talked about this, I was really, really excited, and Zoe and I are really excited. Who gets to speak to Michael, but we're so glad that we could today. We both really have a lot of time for you and love you. Next week's coffee break, you will. Well, I shouldn't say next week's. It's in a week after. Our next coffee break, I should say, will be with Tuvia Barak, who is the CEO of P3, and we'll be having an amazing conversation around LGBT parenting, but also as our children are going back to school and some of the barriers and things that they may be facing. So that will be our next coffee break session. As I mentioned, we have our Work Pride conference coming up 22nd to the 26th. We tried to, hide it to you there, but actually there's an extra day. It's to the 26th of June, and that's Monday to Friday, 5 days, 5 different themes, a global free conference that we have been working really hard with our organisations that we have on the platform, as well as I think at the moment we're on about 60 community partners, and every day we have more. So a real depth and breadth of voice that you will hear. You'll be able to see Michael doing an inspirational keynote, Lady Phil, Simon Blake, and so many sessions of learning, not only about industry, but the experiences of LGBT people. Registrations are open now. So please log on to mygwork.com/workpride and get planning into how you're going to spend that week.
Guys.
Yeah, there's so much we want to see, and Michael is on day 1. It's just my absolute thanks to everyone for joining us. Michael, for being a part of it today. We wish you all the best. Please stay safe and well, and we look forward to you joining us again on the next session.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was lovely.